everybody, welcome to another episode of Let's Play. Today we're taking a look at Destiny Aurora Renegades, a miniature board game hybrid from B&B Game Studios. Now this is a procedurally generated adventure game where you can play 1 to 4 players either as like a campaign system, cooperatively as the Coalition or the Renegades against 2 other players, or 1 player against NPC AIs, which is how I'm going to play it today. Now you have a big cast of characters. There's 20 characters in the box along with your 2 different spaceships to build your crew from, and this is sort of, it feels a little Mass Effect-y. You got lizard folks and cat girls and robo people and humans and aliens and all that stuff, and big galaxy-like threatening events can happen. For the most part, the baddies are all in card in the box set, but I do have a few of the deluxe edition bad guy miniatures to show as well. They do not come in the core game though. And so what we're going to do is we're going to procedurally generate a mission and throw down. We're going to use the timed mission format. Normally you go until everyone's dead or you do the mission in like the standard game, but I actually prefer the countdown clock where you basically draw 8 cards. When they're all resolved, the game ends and you see if you've completed your mission or not. I prefer games that work that way. I don't like games that drag out. And it is an option in the rules to play that way. It's the format we'll be using. And I'm going to walk you through assembling a crew, going on an adventure, and the basic ins and outs of the game. It is very component heavy, but the procedural nature of the mission, or the game, I think lends itself to that. So let's take a look at what comes in the box, get a game set up, and take this underway. So here it is, the big honking box for Destiny Aurora Renegades, and here's everything you get. You're getting cards for all kinds of stuff, randomly selecting your mission, bounties on enemy and your own guys, creature cards for all of the random creatures that can show up that are also sort of characters, but they only show up on the planetary surface, so they're single-sided. Enemies cards for behaviors for different enemies when you draw them, all your weapons and gear you can find. Searchable boxes, what they do when you find items, your world events, which is also your timeline for if you're going to be playing the time missions, planetary and orbital locations for procedurally generating your board, upgrades for when you're playing campaigns, tactical cards, which we don't use in the core game, they come later, salvage, which are like search items for space, and then finally your NPC cards, so what the NPCs do when you're playing through the turn. Finally, get your starting armory items, your bad guy cards for when they're in space and when they're not in space, so bad guys can do all kinds of things when they're on the ground. And then finally get all your character cards for the Coalition and the Renegades, the basically your space pirates. And they can both be good guys or bad guys. These could be the oppressive Coalition, or like, you know, the noble Federation, or these could be the evil space pirates, or the the freedom fighters, depending upon your level of personal political anarchy. You get your spaceship cards, both undamaged and damaged sides, basically, for your spaceships. They also are exactly the same, so picking them is really just picking a name. But you can upgrade them, of course, through finding salvage and through doing things during the course of the game. You have some general sort of like syllabus cards for what things do, your board game book for the rules, and then your mission book, which is the hidden information, the story stuff you don't want to look at until you actually draw your missions. About a bajillion counters. So like your space box for your campaign. You get cardboard tokens for every single bad guy in the game, but if you buy the deluxe packs, you can see you can upgrade them all, so they all have like an analog there, but you get everything in the game. There's no monster that you'll get through the upgrade packs. They basically add nicer miniatures for what what you want to play. Unconscious markers, drones. You've got your crates, randomizers for NPCs, you know what they're doing. Dice for attacking and defending. Colored counters for NPCs, again for drawing. And number randomizers for like when you land on numbered pads and stuff. Space damage, people damage, space search boxes and ground search boxes, and then various status effects and energy, and all of this stuff will lend to playing the game. Tons of standees for all your bad guys. And then finally you have central locations. You have 1 for space, you have 3 for planets, and then all of your side and corner pieces, which are used to procedurally generate your mission. So I'll give an overview for how crew creation works, and then before I do that, I'm going to just give a general anatomy of a card and anatomy of stuff. So you're going to pick your spaceship, then you're going to pick your crew. Now when you pick your spaceship, again, I said they're all the same at the beginning, so it doesn't really matter, you're just picking a name. They all have a bunch of special space actions they can do, but you have to use a person's applicable stat to do it. So the person in the commander chair can use their commander stat to add to the initiative for seeing who goes first each round. You can scan for weaknesses with a comms officer, perform a scan test to get +1 penetrating damage when you attack, overclock your engines with your engineer, tactical targeting, perform a test, again it's all based on your stat, to reroll attack dice equal to half your weapon's stealth value, And then evasive maneuvers, perform a navigator wing test, reroll defense dice. So these are all like little boosts that anybody can do. When you select your crew, you have to select someone with a skill in each station, basically. So you have to assign people based on their abilities to the stations, and you only get one of each when you start. You can also put people in medbay when they get hurt, and in the brig if you capture somebody. You have all your little upgrade stuff, so you basically put your upgrades on your guns and your defense stuff, your capacities, how many people you can carry, which is 7, your range, which is how far you shoot, your shields, which is how much damage you can take before you turn the card over, and then you're hitting hull, and then your bonuses. So you get +1, you get 1 attack dice all the time, plus whatever your crosshair value is for weapon operator, and then movement is 1 plus your wing value for your pilot, and then your initiative is your commander or your navigator's initiative. So if your commander leaves to go on a planetary mission, on a away mission, he joins the away team, then the navigator's initiative gets used for the planes. And then for people, they have an in-space side, and when they go to the planet, they flip to the planetary side, so you see their stats kind of change. So for instance, a medical and comms officer, Trix Weequor, so she would be placed basically, I could put her in comms typically, but she could also do some med-based stuff. Her comm stat is 3, her eyeball stat there, so she's pretty powerful in that regards. And then when she's in orbit, she can use the medical thing. All crew members in medbay and Trix may be healed up to 2 wounds at the end of each round. So she does that for free. And then she can hack engineering, perform a 5+ scan test, and choose an enemy ship in range of 3. That ship cannot use chosen salvage item this round. So I can turn off salvage items, like their upgrades basically, using her hacking if I want as well. And then when she goes down to the ground, she'll flip over. So this is her initiative, so if she happened to be in navigation for whatever reason, like if she took over that station, then she would be initiative 4. She is 1 to her leadership value, so if she's using leadership skills, that's her stat. She is 3 to her communication stat. Engineering is 2. Her crosshair's value if she has to fire weapons is 2. And her wing stat is 1. So if she was piloting the ship, it would only move 2 squares each turn. If she was shooting its guns, though, it would shoot 3. It would be 1 plus 2. If she was scanning, of course, it would be 3. So she's better in this position than anyone else, but when you leave and go on away missions, you might have to do other roles using different people. And so she goes to the ground, she's initiative 4 still. Her stats remain roughly the same, but she gains new stats too, which is her medical ability. And then her ability to resist death, taking death tests, her engineering, her comms again, and her leadership. She takes 6 hit points before she gets knocked out and goes unconscious. She moves 4 squares per turn. Her defense dice are 2, so she can add +2 to 1 die, so she's pretty defensive when she makes defense tests. And then she is 3 power for when she makes attacks. She rolls 3 dice in attack. And then she gets all these special options too. She can hit from the shadows, gets +1 attack die when she's in stealth, so if she decides to stealth. Stealth means that when you move into a room, you can try and hide and not be seen, and that's why her stealth stat is so high. I forgot this is actually stealth right here. Thief, make a 6+ stealth test. So you're gonna roll 4 dice, trying to roll a 6 against an adjacent enemy character. If successful, choose a random item, and they may not steal an arc pistol, but you can steal some of their upgrades and stuff. And then medic may heal an adjacent character or herself if they're not adjacent. To an opposing character or of 1 health on a 5+ medical test. And if she rolls a 6 on any of the dice, she gets 2 heals instead. So she's pretty useful to have in the plane and on the ground. Combat is fairly simple, and I'm going to explain it real fast just so that you have some sort of I guess, context for everything else. So we'll use an example of a ship fighting another ship because it's fairly simple. So ship A is shooting ship B. It's within range of 6. And let's say, I don't know, someone awesome at shooting. Who's awesome at shooting? You're pretty awesome at shooting. Dr. Hailstrom. No, you're crap at shooting. Actually, you can shoot 1. You're pretty awesome at shooting there. Belazur. You have a target value of 4, so she would roll 5 attack dice. So attack is 1 plus targeting's crosshair value. And those are the red dice. And you're just looking to roll as high as you can, but anything that's less than a 4 gets taken away. She gets to add +1 to one of the ship's rolled attack dice. So she rolls, and she gets a 5, 4, 4, 3, 3. So she could make this a 6, she could make this a 5, or she could make one of these 3s a 4. She's going to make one of these 3s a 4, so it doesn't get dropped. Then anything less than a 3 gets dropped, and the opposing ship, or the defending model, will roll a number of defense dice equal to the amount of attacks that you rolled. So in this case, it'd be 4, and then you pair them up, lowest to highest. They would add any mods they have, so let's say their ship has, I don't know, someone who adds +1 to 1. It won't really help in any of these cases because these can't become 4s. These get discarded. So they could make this one a 5 or that one a 7, but it's irrelevant at this point because it's only going to block 2 hits. So you block and pair them up however you want with your defenders. So the 6 will cancel the 5, the 4 will cancel the 4, but these 2 will get through and do 2 points of shield damage to the opposing ship. And that's basically it. Those are how attack tests are made. Now, most models will have 2 actions, and so will ships during each game round. You can only attack once per round typically, though, unless you have some very cool gear or something like that, or skill that lets you do it more than once. That's the basics of attacking, and that works in all attacks. It works for melee attacks, shooting attacks, and the modifiers are just going to be, does your weapon add to dice rolls? Do they give you extra dice? And the same with your ships and stuff. So with that basic anatomy stuff done, let's go to composing a crew. So I'm just going to pick a ship at random. Which one do I think looks cooler? You look cooler. So we'll send away the one that looks like, oh wait, these are the, put the wrong ships on the wrong side. So you have to play the Renegades when you play solo, because you're playing against the oppressors, basically. Do I think Battlestar Galactica looks cooler, or the Wing Commander ship? Let's go with the Battlestar Galactica. Always go with the Dama. And then we have to pick, of the 10 models in the list, we have to pick somebody for each position. So I like Dr. Hallstrom. He's pretty cool. We're going to put him in. He's right here, so he's going to go into communications, because he's a good communications officer. Oh, actually, no, yeah, let's use Trix, because we talked about Trix, actually, because we actually went through Trix's card, and we know what she does. I've used Dr. Hallstrom before, but we actually talked about Trix on camera, so you guys have a lot more relevance. Where is she? Trix is, oh yeah, there, no, is that Trix? No, Trix isn't the one that's not great. Is this Trix? This is Trix. I didn't paint the miniatures, because honestly, these are board game piece quality miniatures. They're not fantastic, so I'm just going to treat this like a board game. And then, so we filled the comms place. We're going to have to fill 3 more spots. I like Belle Azur. She's pretty awesome. She's got a good shoot stat, so she'll go over here as weapons. We'll put, who wants to be in nav? Not you, not you. Let's put Fishman in nav. Ooh, Grom's pretty great as a warrior. Kunlun Thor, the evil space alien, the space pirate, he'll be my captain, because obviously, why would not? Why would I not take him? We can do A-Block. We'll do, yeah. Let's do the Shape of Water here as my engineer. And then my navigator will be Krellin Rain. There you go. She's awesome. Is she the one leaning down? I think she is. There we go. The best of the miniatures. The one that's laying on its face. And so my crew's assembled. We'll put them all in the proper positions. And the last thing we have to do is fill up our armory. So when you start off, your armory consists of 3 arc pistols and an arc sword. And people can be given equipment when they go on down to shore. So that's all done. And now, because I'm playing one player, I have to randomly generate space trucks for you, and then 5 characters for each position. All right, so there's my random Destiny Aurora Fleetwing Mark IV crew. We've got Commander Shepard, Mercy, Orc Dwarf, Goat Lady, and Robot Lady as my comms. So it's going to be, this is my leader. He's the inspector, Steven Strachan. Lenore Gandel, my comms medical officer. Rolf, the Orc Dwarf. Rika Eris, the Goat Lady. And then B-149, the android comms officer and navigation. All right, so now that we've got our crews assembled, it's time to set sail for adventure. And we're going to draw a mission card. We draw coordinates. Your team is contracted to travel to Chromex and retrieve cartography coordinates. It may sound simple, but there's a catch, of course. For one, the Coalition's been searching for these mysterious coordinates, but they've been encoded into the security system and gone a bit haywire. Can't wait! So we have to set up the stellar cartography and robotics room corner tiles. Other map tiles are random. Place 2 Ronin androids on the stellar cartography room and 1 random corner. Use the Nebula center tile for the orbital board, and pull the Cyber Sentinel card out of the creature deck and place it to one side, along with all the Ronin enemies cards. Place the troop transport at the side of the board and place it in the center of the Nebula when required. All right, so the Nebula is going to be our central tile for this, and then what we end up doing is we have to deal out cards to complete the rest of it. So what I like to do is take the orbital location cards, and I'm going to separate the sides and the corners, and then deal out 4 corners and 4 sides, and just do them clockwise. All right, so we need 4 of each, having separated them, and I pulled out all the center tiles. We do need to add the Nebula one to the deck, because when we randomize locations later on, we're going to have all these together. So we have 4 corners, satellites, clear space 2, clear space 3, and a derelict ship. The rest of these are going to go away. And then for our sides, we have a comet storm, a space station, an asteroid belt, and the space probe. All right, so there's our orbital deck, or our orbital locations all done. And the locations that you've drawn go together to form the randomizing deck, so if something shows up in a random square, you just deal at the appropriate card. There can be special rules for certain locations too, but for the most part it's pretty simple. Green squares cost 2 squares of movement to go through. Red squares are impassable and can't be moved through, so when you're moving around, you have to bear that in mind. Now, one unfortunate thing is, for some of these tiles, the cuts aren't quite measured correctly, and they don't push down. They're just slightly off center, and so you can't quite make the board completely flat. This will not go all the way in. But such is life. This is, you know, indie board games. Now the next thing you do is I have to deal it randomly, as close to the middle as possible without going on impassable terrain. 9 pieces of salvage that can be scanned and picked up by ships. That done, finally the last thing we're going to do is we're going to place our coordinates. So the coalition always comes from Earth as their starting location, and the rebellion always comes from this little space station thing. I can't remember its name. And then you always have planets to the left and right, and the mission will dictate which planet is the target planet. And in this case, on our mission, it's the red planet we're trying to go for to land on. So the green planet is basically ignored unless a scenario card will say that it, you know, is required for something. We're trying to land on this one over here, and that's going to take us down to our planetary side. So we had to start with the robotics room and stellar cartography. Those will be our 2 core things, then we're going to deal with the rest. All right, to set random tiles, we'll deal with the rest. Our center tile is going to be the security room. We need 2 more corner tiles, which will be the lab and the data core, and then finally we're gonna have the armory, the underground temple, the aviary, and the waterfall as our side pieces. All right, and there we are set up. So we were instructed to put 2 androids in the stellar cartography room, and then checking the card version of coordinates versus the one in the actual mission book, it says something a little bit different. It's you place an additional android on the edge of the side of each side of the center tile, 1 on the edge of each side of the center tile, 1 for each crew in play. So there should be 4 more, I guess. There's only 1 crew in play though, so I assume we only put, oh no, there are two crews in play, so we put 2 more down. Like that and like that, I suppose. And then retrieving the coordinates while docked with the troop transport, which we were told to put aside and will appear later. The crew member occupying the communication station needs to pass a 5+ search and scan test, while your crew member on the planet accesses the stellar cartography console for a 5+ tech test. Both tests need to succeed. If the first succeeds, place an energy token on that figure. If the second fails, remove the energy token. Both tests need to be made again. Ronan android will enter a docked ship and attack the crew. Docked ships will move with the troop transport as if attached and may take damage from troop transport attacks. Players' ships may still rotate and fire weapons. If the transport lands, it does not require an action to land. Any ship still docked will immediately break off. When they break away, they take 2 critical damage. Troop transport will land at a random docking port. Reroll if it's a 5 or 6, the dock remains unlocked. If a crew has not gotten the coordinates, they can get it by standing on the dock next to the troop transport and performing a 5+ search or scan test. If 4 ships are in play, same factions can work as 1 team with 1 ship working in conjunction with another player's landing party. Once the console in the cartography room is accessed, where the test has failed or passed, the Cyber Sentinel and 2 Ronin androids will spawn in the robotics room. They will gravitate towards the carrier of the coordinates. If they're 2 Coalition and Renegade, they will split randomly. The doors to the dock will remain locked until the Cyber Sentinel is defeated. Pass a 5+ tech test to open a door while standing next to one. The troop transport will deliver ASP4 and 4 Ronin androids, 2 for 1 to 2 players. They will get a free deployment. ASP4 will target the character with the highest initiative in possession with the coordinates. If there are 2, ASP4 will gravitate towards the opposing faction. Then the Cyber Sentinel is currently targeting. It'll attack somebody else. Basically, we're trying to fly, get to the planet, land a crew on it, and then fly back when the troop transport arrives, 'cause it's going to spawn as soon as we land on the planet, and then go and do stuff. And we're going to have 8 turns to do it in, sorry, because we're playing a timed game. So I have to deal out 8 world events. At the end of every turn, one of these gets played. All right, so there's our world event cards, and we are ready to start playing. So, general format for the turn. There's the orbital phase, where our ships act, and our players on our ships can do things too. There is the villain orbital phase, so at the end of all of the good guys going, and in this case these guys are going to be NPCs, so they're villains. They act, then planet surface phase, anybody on the planet gets to act, then their villain phase goes, then the creature phase, any monsters on the table, and then the world event. We flip the world event, and then we reset. So basically it's going to be 8 turns to try and finish this. Actions you can do in orbit: move, including rotate, because you can only move in your front arc. Attack once, scan, which is a free action. You can do each free action once per turn. Salvage, which is an action. Descend. Tactical card, free. Ship ability, like your ship things, they're free. You can do 1. And then attempt to turn a prisoner. If you have somebody on board, you can try and make them join your side. So, starting with the my team, because normally in a 2-player game, it's the people with the highest initiative, the captain's highest initiative. I'm initiative 7. You could also do once per turn your I'm in command, try and boost your initiative by 2, but I don't have to in this case because they're going to go as NPCs. So I'm landed here. I'm going to try and get to this planet. But first I'm going to move. So I'm going to start going 1, and my movement is going to be my flight stat, so 4 + 1. So I can move 5 squares. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and be facing this way. And then I'm going to take a free scan on that. Comm Officer's scanning skill, which is 3, and I have to roll a 5+. It means I can flip it and see what it is. I don't get a 5 though, so I won't know what it is. So if I take the salvage action, I'm risking it. I'm not going to bother. My second action, which is a full action, I'm going to move again. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just leave adjacent to this, because then maybe next turn I'll grab it. Then Team Coalition goes, and they're going to come after me and go 1, 2, 3. I think they move 5 as well. 4 + 1, yep. 4, 5, and that's what they do in this, when they're NPCs, they move and attack if they can. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thing isn't free though, so that's the orbital phase done. Down to the ground phase, there's nobody there to activate, so we immediately flip a world event card. Hey, location. Fire! Planet surface. Choose a random location, perform a 6 attack against any characters in that location. Place any character that takes damage at the entrance to the location. Place a fire token on the location tile. Characters may search it, but the search scan is now 6+ to movement is halved. Perform 4 attack against all characters in the burning location at the end of each round. Alright, so hopefully the stellar cartography room doesn't spontaneously light on fire. Yeah! The armory lights on fire, so the big central room is just on fire. Well, they did say everything was malfunctioning, so it's now a very dangerous place to be. Place a fire on here. Oh, and something I forgot to do is each of these buildings should also have a little mark on it, so a little crate. Those crates are searchable, so I'm going to fill those up right now. Oh, an interesting first turn. The world is spontaneously on fire now, and these guys don't have any enemies to go after, so they all just idle, and that means we're going on to round 2. Okay, so initiative once again, I get to go first. I'm going to start off with a free action, which means I'm going to try and scan that sucker again with my comms officer, who is scan 3. Come on, Trix, figure it out. Nope, she doesn't know what it is. Do I just salvage it anyway? I have to land as an action. I can't land as a free action within 2, so I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to move and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my second action, I'm going to descend. So I descend to a random landing pad. Some handy little number randomizers here, so let's see what landing pad we end up on. And we're going to go to the 2. All right, so we end up on the 2 right here, and we can take off again. And then I get to build my boarding party. So my boarding party is going to be up to 3 members, and they get to each make a half move out of the ship, basically, to start sneaking onto the table before the planetary phase happens. So I think we're going to leave Krellin and Abok on board because they're good at piloting and stuff, and they also have to now go and take the ship, which is important. And they are going to send Trix, Belazur, and Cunlor Thorn onto the table. So Cunlor can move, we flip them all over to their ground side. He can move 5, she can move 4, and Belazur can move 4 as well. So on the table, he can use the tactical cards anyway. Sword Mastery is +2 to 1 attack when using a sword, so obviously we're going to give him a sword and a pistol. That just makes sense, because he's a sword bro. Then the Trix is just going to take a pistol, and she gets, so he also gets Vengeance. If Jason and Cunlor are on the same table, they have to fight each other once per round. or for at least 1 round. And on my command, use an action to give an adjacent character a free action. That's pretty cool too. She gets hit from the shadows, like I said before. She gets +1 attack die for attacks with from stealth. She can steal and she can heal, which is also really cool. And then Bella's will get a pistol as well. She's an assassin. Add +1 to 2 rolled dice for melee attacks, or +1 to 1 rolled dice for range attacks. So if she's adjacent, she gets +2 to 2 different attack dice. And then Shapeshifter, anyone attacking her must first perform a successful 5+ search or scan test in order to target them with an attack. Unfortunately, these guys auto-pass searches and scans. So he's going to move on 3 and go through the door. So he'll go 1, 2, and 3. Why not? Just stand next to the box. We're going to go with these 2. She's going to go 1, 2, and 1, 2, and they'll just both be in the doorway. Now, just like other things, the yellow, you have to go through doors. So if there's a yellow spot, it's impassable unless there's a doorway. So for instance, these ones right here, you can't go down, but you could go into the water from this side. Red is totally impassable. So like these yellow ones right here, you can't go through unless you go through the ladder. The ladder's like the only access point. Greens cost 2 to move through, and reds can't be moved through at all. I'll see on my orbital phase. Now, unfortunately, hey, these guys are going to come after me immediately. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then their second action, they're gonna drop in. Now, when they're playing as NPCs, what they send in is they send in the mirror of what I send in. So they're gonna send in, it looks like Rika Eris, Goat Girl, Mercy, and Commander Shepard. Equipment gets dealt randomly, so we'll shuffle and deal it to them. All 3 of them end up with pistols, so no bonuses, but they get to attack up to 4 squares away. And then they come in a random location, and it's gonna be not the same as me. Number 3. Come in where someone's already docked. So number 3 is going to be over here, and they do their moves off. And so Orc Dwarf and the android remain on board. He moves 4, 5 for Wings Girl, 5 for Goat Girl. So they're going to each go 3, and they're going to try and move towards me as quickly as possible. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. She has flight, actually. She beelines towards us and goes 1, 2, 3. And then she's going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's going to go 1, 2. The end of the planetary phase, these guys are going to float off. But now that we've landed, this sucker appears on the table. It's because I entered a room. As soon as I enter any of the rooms, the troop transport appears. And so it immediately gets to make its move. It is trying to get to the planet to land, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, because that's its movement. There's no one in range for it to target, so that it moves 3 squares additionally. Normally, ships on the table move and attack, the highest initiative thing they can go after, but this one will just keep moving. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3 again. And that's bad for us, because if it gets to the planet, all kinds of jabronis come off and show up. We shouldn't enter that room, but such is the way of things. Alright, so we're on to the planetary phase, and when you choose initiative for this, we have to go with the highest initiative in the groups. So adding them up, my total is 7 plus 4 plus 6 is 17. To the enemy's 4 plus 5 plus 7 is 16. So my group gets to go first. And so all my characters will now activate. And then all the NPC characters will activate, and then finally these idiots will go last. And hopefully terrible things won't happen. So let's see what we can see. We're trying to get down here to Star Cartography and scan this while our ship takes off at the end of this round and goes to scan that. So we don't need to scan this round, we do need to move a whole bunch. So I guess we're going to go with the boss man, and he moves 5. Now I could open this as an action, but I'm going to leave it for somebody else. So I'm going to go turn for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. I guess I could go, I was like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just turn for 5. And second action, I'm going to stab with my sword. So stab with my sword, I'm a sword master, I'm +2 to 1 attack time when I'm using a sword, and my attack value is 5. So I'm going to roll 5 red dice here, and try not roll any 1s, 2s, or 3s. Alright, so +2 to 1 attack dice won't save this die, but I could make one of these a 7, which means it's unblockable. So that one becomes unblockable. Penetrating hits, and then that means that the non-penetrating hits, she has to roll her defense dice. Now she has +1 to 1 defense die when she's defending, and she has to roll 5s and 6s. But she does! And she manages to block all of it somehow. So she only takes 1 damage. It's looking real good there for a minute until it didn't, and then she takes a damage point. She has a grand total of 6. He's all done, so then we're going to go with, I guess, Belazur's pretty great. She gets +1/+1 for short attacks, and then Trix is also pretty great, and she's stealthy. And we're gonna send Trix on a moving mission. She's just gonna try and get the heck out of here. I can't. The thing is, I'd want to send her through the building, but the building's on fire, which is bad, so I can't really sneak through there. Well, let's have her go pick some stuff up. So she's gonna go 1, 2. No, she's not gonna move yet. Actually, we'll send Trix. Bella's there next. Yeah, we'll send Bella's there. She's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then she's gonna shoot 1, 2, 3 into. She can't see her. I guess she's just gonna move again and go. No, she'll scan first. Scans first. We can at least see what's in that box. So 3. She gets a 5, 6, which means we can see what's in it. It's nothing. Well, good thing we didn't waste any actions opening it up. Might as well leave it flipped because I'll know what it is. And then she's gonna move again and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and stand over here. She's just gonna go. She's gonna start moving. She's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and she'll scan this. You scan. Doesn't know what it is. So that's Trix. 3D scan. Yep, she's the same. And then that's all done. So then we go on to, in the highest initiative order, our NPCs. So the first one is going to be tech hungry. NPC will hunt for the characters, either engineers or communication officers, in that order of preference. She's going after Trix, basically, which is good because it's right in front. So hunting does not have line of fire, so it's going to go 1, 2, and then I guess 3, and then going to shoot. +1/+1 attack die. He's attack 5. So 5 dice into Trix. Whoa, it doesn't do great though. So +1/+1 is just going to make this a 5. And then that's 1 defense die for her. And she has to add 1/1. She has to add 2/1, which would make it a 4, but won't block it. So just take it in. Next highest initiative is going to be Rika Eris. So she draws a tech hungry as well. Goes after the one with the comms. So she can already see her, which means she'll attack once. And she is attack 5 with a enhanced sight +2 to range for a ranged weapon, and +1 to 1 rolled attack die. So she's gonna roll 5 dice with +1 to 1 of them. So she never makes penetrating hits when you're NPCs, so she'll make this into a 5, and then Trix is gonna have to try and block them. She blocks a 5, so she blocks 1 of them, takes another damage. Ouch! Right in the Trix. All right, so that wasn't great. And then last but not least is Mercy. She's going to go, and she's going to get a flyboy target. Goes after pilots or weapon officers. In that order of preference, if they're available, she goes after mission parameter instead. So pilots and officers. Weapons officer is going to be Belle. So she goes after Belle. And she can see Belle right now, so she's going to shoot her. 3 attack dice and no bonuses. So she just goes bang bang and does pretty well. 6, 4, 4, blocking with 3 1s, takes 3 damage. But I forgot about something. If she doesn't pass a shapeshifter, a 5+ scan test, she can't be attacked. Her scan is 4 though, so let's see if she gets it and gets the damage. She does get it, yeah, so she's okay. So she's gonna do 3 damage. Angel Lady doing more damage than my murdery demon captain. All right, and then it's finally gonna just be the folks on the planet. So starting with the closest one will be this fella. They will always go after the highest initiative model that they can see. So the highest initiative is gonna be this NPC at this point. The Ronin androids have 4 dice to the 4 range. Hive mind with more than 1 Ronin androids on the map, add +1 to their highest attack and defense die, and then execute command. If asked for is there, they can reroll a missed attack die. So, gonna get +1 to 1 of these. Makes this a 7, so penetrating hit, just takes a wound. Next is my captain, so these guys are gonna walk their 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and try and shoot. I don't think it's in range, only range 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't shoot, so it's gonna shoot her instead. Auto passes the scan for 1 +1, so it's gonna be a penetrating hit, and then 1, 5. Nope, takes 2 more. Bowser's at 5 out of 7. And then it's in a world event card because the phase is over. So what happens? Enemy attack. Pick a random card from the enemy deck and place the corresponding enemy tokens at a random location. The commander, if placed, will attack the character with the highest initiative in descending order and alternating between crews. Enemies choose targets based on the characters. It's able to attack in a single movement. Sorry, both these ships will ascend at the end of the round as well, because they don't want to get shot on the ground. They have to go board that space truck. All right, it's going to be 2 to 5 Zarathi warriors. Roll randomly. 6. It's 5 Zarathi warriors. So you're -2, so it's going to be a 3 total. So 3 Lionos show up in a random location. I gave the planetary locations a shuffle again. I hope they show up in the armory. No, the data core. So they show up as close to the middle of the pop syllable of the data core, and they're going to come after us going after whoever they can come after with a single movement at the highest initiative. So they move 4, 5 per round, and they're in the data core, which is over here. 1, 2, and 3. Abandoned Planet. This is a lot of bad guys here. And sorry, one thing I did forget, actually, it's irrelevant because we're not playing a campaign game. You have to draw a bounty for each crew to see who's got money after them. Crow and Rain. Somebody wants to get her. And you get extra bucks if you do. And then on this side, B149 has a bounty on them. If the opposing crew captures them, then they get the extra space bucks, which is cool. All right, well, new turn. I gotta go gets the thing. So let's go gets the thing. We're gonna go 1, 2. I might as well scan this thing for free. Let's see if I can find it. So who's scanning now? Who's got the highest eyeballs? Dwarf? Nope, B149 does. So 4 dice looking for a 5. Nope, we don't know what it is. And then second action, we'll dock. We're going to dock with the ship, but every round an android's going to board us basically during its turn. And now that we're docked, we're going to try and scan that sucker again. On 4, we got to get the monies. We get it. All right, so we've scanned it now. Oh, actually, sorry. I shouldn't have scanned this thing because I can only scan once per turn. I want to dock and then scan that guy as my free action. And that means that now if I can get to the data core somehow and scan it, I'll have done my mission objective and I just have to get away. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that because I don't think I can move 8 to get there this turn. Then the NPCs go and they try and attack me again, but also they try and scan. So 1, 2, and then they're going to attack me. They attack us in preference, so attacking us with their space truck. Who's got weapons here? You're not good at weapons. Who's good at weapons? Oh wait, why is this card on the wrong side? You're 2 for weapons, 1 for weapons. I guess you are good at weapons, so 3 dice. Shooting us with 3 dice. We get +1 to 1. No, +1 to nothing. So you're at 5, 5, 3. That one goes away. And then we have to defend. We still have +1 to 1 ship defense dice. We defend. 6 and 6. They will also try and scan with their highest scan value, which I think is 4 right now, to scan Yon Transport. And they do. But now this thing moves and goes 1, 2, 3. We both take 2 critical damage, get dragged with it. But we have our scans at least if we can go and try and get this thing. And then it lands a whole bunch of bad guys. So ASP 4 and 2 Ronin androids are going to pile off this thing, and all of the spots are available. So let's see, because we're not docked right now, because we just get left behind, take 2 critical damage. Show up on 4, so they're going to show up over here. Disembark, each of them going 2, and then 3 for the other one. And this thing will stay docked. And we can now access it with scan tests if we need to scan it again. So they're going to go towards us as quickly as possible. Whoever has coordinates, nobody has coordinates currently, so it's going to be 1, 2, and then I guess there's no real doors here, so 1, 2. Actually, let's just say he went first. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. And there's the orbital phase all done, so we're on to the planetary phase. And yeah, well, we're having the initiative, but we're not feeling great. And we really need to go scan this thing and get back to our ships. Any ship, really. So I think we're going to start with the boss again. He's just going to start moving. He's going to go 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then shoot a pistol. Scan the box and see if there's anything cool in it first. We get a free scan action. We don't find out what's in it. And then shoot our pistol. So we just have 5 attack dice into, oh, let's say this Ronin android. And we get +1 and nothing. It's only sword dice, so we get pluses too. But we get a 5, 5, 5. That's pretty great. So 3 defense dice back. Doesn't block any, it takes 3 damage. You almost did it! I guess we go with the next one. I don't know if we're going to make it in time, but we're going to try. This is going to be Belazur? No, this is, yeah, we can go with Belazur. She's pretty quick. She's so beat up, though. Let's go with Trix first. Yeah, let's go with Trix first. Trix is going to go. She's going to move 1 to here, 2, 3, and she's going to attempt to do a heal on her friend. So she has to make a Is it a medical test? Yes, a medical test. She has 3 dice. If she gets a 5+, she heals 1. If she rolls a 6, she heals 2. She got a 6, so she's going to heal 2. Boop, boop. Go down to 3. And then Trix is going to move. Sorry. Well, that was Trix. Oh, no, I needed to be like this. I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then Trix is going to move. And she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hide over here. PC time, Steven Strachan goes, and he gets a tech hungry. He goes after, are they all tech hungry? Like, I swear to God, I shuffled these. Engineer comms. So comms is going to be, once again, Trix. You can't see her, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess, and shoot her. 5 dice. Gets a 5, 4, 4 with +1 to 1, so I guess we'll make this one a 6. Because it's always next highest die for NPCs. And then 3 defense dice. She blocks 1, 4. She takes 2. The next one will be Rika Eris, who flips a brawler. NPC will hunt the character with the highest initiative, so she's going after my boss. And she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I guess that's considered adjacent, so then she attacks him. She's got 5 dice because she's Burlin Warband. And oh my God, gets +1 to 1. So she gets 6, 6, 5. And I get to defend. Got +1 to 1 die. Well, I blocked 2 6s. That's cool. So those go away. I take 2 damage. Okie dokie. Well, that was done. And then it's just Mercy. And she gets, sorry, Linmore Gandel. On a mission. We'll hunt for the mission objective. That means attacking a creature. It'll do so. Entering a room. Maybe necessary for the NPC to attempt a stealth test. Okay, so going after the objective, meaning she's going to move 10. So she's going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and head over here. She's got wings, and she just ignores everything. You can't attempt a stealth test going along the wall there on a 5+ on 2 dice. She's stealthy. It's a problem for my character, but the robots detect her automatically. All right, that's all the NPCs, so now it's on to the incredibly long villains phase. We start with the highest initiative, which I guess is going to be ASP4 and the Ronin androids. So ASP4 is going to go after anybody with mission coordinates. There isn't anybody, so it's just going to be the highest initiative he can get to quickly in a single move. So I think that's going to be, he moves 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then attacks me. He gets +1 to the highest rolled attack die for each Ronin android on the map. Limit 1 bonus per die. So he's going to get to add to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice. So basically all of his dice get +1 right now. So it becomes a 4, and these become 6s. Defending, come on, Cunlor Thorn. You defend 1, because the +1 to 1 die won't help these, so you take 2 more. Throwing androids for days, they alternate between warbands, so having attacked this, she's going to attack Mercy, he auto-detects her. He's got 4 dice. He gets +1 for their highest value attack and defense die. He gets to reroll 1 missed attack die, because ASP4 is on the table, so it's going to be a penetrating hit and a 5. Can she dodge the 5? She does. This one will go and attack the boss man there, needing 4 dice. Once again, adding 1 to the highest result. So that's going to be a 5 and a 4. And then 2 dice to defend. Nothing. He takes 2 more. He goes to 6. So then alternating someone they can get to in a single move. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess, to go after her now, because she's the next highest. 4 dice, adding 1 to the highest, so it's a 6. Can she dodge it? Nope. Takes another one. Mercy's at 3. Into my warband now. I don't know if he can get anywhere where he can see me. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. So I think it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And can't see anybody. Then this one's going to go after this warband and go 1, 2, 3, and attack. 4 dice, 1 to the highest, so that's going to be a 5, 4. Trying to dodge it with Goat Girl. Dodges the 5, takes 1. This one just goes after, because one after Goat Girl goes after her, goes 1, 2, passes the stealth test, and rolls 4 attack dice again. Oh, Jesus. 6, 5, 4. Does she block it? 3 dice. 6, 5, 4. You can do it. No, takes 3. She goes to 6. She's in trouble. No. Takes 3. She goes to 6. She's unconscious. Blam, down a character. And then it's the Zarathi Warriors. They're going to, I guess, run at us. For people they can attack in a single move. So they're range 5 with 5 move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And can attack. More than one's on the table, so plus 1 of the highest value attack and defense die. So that's going to be a 7, which is a crit. And can he block the 5? Nope, he takes 2. He tries to go after my warband, which I guess is going to be over here now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the other one goes after him again and goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but is that a range? All right then, world event. What happens? Quake, what's rumbling? Perform a 5 attack. Each character on the center tile defends against the attack. Each hit does 1 damage. There's nobody. There's 1 character in the center tile. Each damage taken pushes the character back 1 space from the center square. Flyers when affected, wall damage applies. So if I hit a wall, I take more damage. So a 5 dice attack against everybody on the center square. Ugh, okay, well that's 6, 5, 5, 4. It's pretty bad. Zerathi Warrior. He's defense. Well, I guess plus 1 to his highest die because he's got more guys here. So he's going to take 6, 5, 4. So he takes 1. The android, highest defense is plus 1, so he blocks a 6 and takes 3. He'll take wall damage. Actually, he'll fall, I guess, and take an extra damage. He doesn't fall. He just takes an extra damage, actually. And then what happens to Unconscious Girl? She's actually replaced with an Unconscious token, and all of her items she was carrying, so her arc pistol and that little locker there, and her left behind when she gets dropped, but friendlies can pick them up. Okay, well, we had a Quake, and it's new round. Might as well, I mean, we've lost our scans. We have to go over to this thing now to scan it. So we might as well just move over and find some space junk. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll scan it. Our highest scan is a 4 for the engineer. We found it. What is it? What kind of cool thing do we find? Ooh, a turbo laser. So let's pick it up. We have a Zerathi turbo laser now. Let's find that card. Ooh, our attack and our range go up by 1 with our Zerathi turbo laser. And the NPC ship goes, it's just going to come after us again. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then shoot us. It's got 3 dings. It gets a 4. And then can we dodge the 4? We have plus 1 to 1 die. We do. Plus 1 to a 4. Because we have a good pilot on board. Might as well make it chase us. I don't know if this is going to happen this round now, because we have to get somebody over here to go try and scan this thing. There's no baddies on the table to go, so it's just going to be over here, because this thing is now docked. And its highest initiative for me is going to be the boss man. We just killed the angel lady? Maybe. We're going to try. Got 5 dice, so 5 dice with plus 2 to one of them. So we can make it a penetrating hit, or I can make this a 5. I'm going to make this a 5. So we have 5, 5, 5, 4. Can she dodge it? She has to dodge 2 of these. She dodges 1 of them. And she gets plus 1 to 1 die, so she could make that a 4, but that won't help her. And making that a 5 won't help her either. So it's just going to be, she takes 3 damage and she's unconscious. We're just going to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And be over here. Oh, I had to censor first, though. Did I make my scan test, my look for you test? I have 3 dice. Did I see her to kill her? Yes. And we can't do the tech test interact yet, so nobody spawns, but here we are. Alright, and then we're going to just hide. We're going to go 1, because you can go up to 180, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And just hide out. Right? That should have been 1, 2, 3, because we'd turn around and go 1, 2, 3. And then second move, we're going to go again, and go 1, 2, 3. 4 and make a stealth test. Don't want those bad guys to choose 5 dice stealth test. Make her stealth. Save her from the save her from the whatchamacallit mans. The Panther mans. And they'll all just pile in here after us. NPCs, starting with Steven's Prey on the Weak. Go after the character with the lowest initiative. That's gonna be her. So he's just gonna move twice after her. So 4, sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Goat Lady. Prey on the Weak, hunt the character with the lowest initiative, so that's to alternate. If damaged, the NPC will engage the attacking character and will remain engaged until defeated. So she's going to try and keep hitting this guy that hit her. Free baller though, 5 dice with plus 1 to 1. So she gets a penetrating hit for 7, does a wound, and then does 5, 4, 4. So 5, 4, 4 on that android. Gets rid of the 5, takes 3 damage. And it's Murder Robot's time again, so Big Murder Robot comes after me, and he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then stabs. He gets plus 1 to all of his dice, because there's 5 robots on the table still. No, okay. Well, he gets 2s, he gets a 4, basically. And then Mr. Big Man, he gets 1 die plus 1. Nope, takes him. 7, he's almost dead. I think this is the end. But they have to alternate. So this one's going to go after the next nearest thing it can see. So it's going to be, it could be anybody actually. So, actually, yeah, he tried moving around. So let's do the engaged one first. Because that would make more sense. 4 dice of plus 1 to 1. Ugh. So 7 does a wound, and then 6, 5. Did they block the 6, 5? Goat Girl takes 2 more. Oh, she gets plus 1 to 1 actually. Yes. So she's going to take 1 more. That's at 2 total with the unblockable one. And then this one's going to go after my warband, so he'll attack. 4 dice of plus 1 to 1. This is 5. Can we block the 5 with plus 1 to 1? Yep. This one's going to go after him, so 1, 2, and then attack. 4 with plus 1 to 1. Jesus, so 7. So unblockable, and then 6, 4, 4. 6, 4, 4. But 5 will block a 4, and he gets plus 1 to 1, which won't stop it. So 3 damage total. He's him to 6. Oh God. And then so these 2 and this one have gone. So this one's going to come after me and go 1, 2, take a shot. Could move 3, 4 to here. Actually, sorry. Yeah, 3, 4 because going diagonal. So 4 dice. And get a 7, so it does an auto damage, and I have to block a 6 and a 5 with plus 1 to 1. No, it blocks 1 of them, so 2 damage, so he's now unconscious as well. The boss is down. And then the last one's right here. It's going to go, I guess, after the next highest initiative, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then attack him. 4 dice. Gets a 7 and a 4. Sorry, 5 rather, so can I block the 5? 3, nope. So takes 2 more and goes to 8. This one's going to go after my warband, so I guess it goes, I mean, is it stupid? Does it walk into the fire? I guess it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then take a 4 dice attack because it can't see me. Ha! It takes that. Is it okay? It blocks 1, takes 2. It's already at 3, so it just melts walking into the fire. Good job, robot. Nobody gets the kill. And it's all about them Panthros. They're going to go after the highest initiative character they get into in a single movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 won't get to him. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 won't get to anybody. So they're just gonna come towards us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, things are looking pretty grim. World event. Rejuvenation. You find a small supply of herbs. Heal all characters on the planet's surface of 1 health, including enemies and villains. Sweet. Everybody gets healed 1. Why couldn't that have happened next round? All right, so everybody's healed 1, and that's not great for us because we did a lot of damage to those characters. We haven't accessed anything yet, so the big murder android still doesn't spawn in the robotics room. We've got 4 turns left, so orbital phase. I got nobody left on the table except for 1, so we're gonna have to land. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then descend. Where do I descend to? Number 4. There's already somebody there. Number 2. Sweet, as far away as possible. And then I'm just gonna have to drop everybody off. So yeah, let's go. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 actually, and then Fishman's also going to go 1, 2. 1, 2. Totally unarmed. I guess they can use their bare hands right now because I have nothing left in the armory. Another ship comes after me, I guess, and goes 1, 2, 3, and descends as well to the 1, and lands here. Then these idiots come off and go 1, 2, and they flip. Again, they're also unarmed. They each go 2. Now we gotta get over to this thing and try and scan it. Oh my god. All right, well, let's see how this goes. I have initiative again. I have 1 character left. There's like literally no way for me to do this. I'm pretty sure. I could go pick up a dead body. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 actions. I guess we could stealth. Do I stealth? Yes, but the robots don't care. You still have to stay along a wall. You have to stay on the wall sides, basically. But the androids don't care. I think ASP4 will actually... I think he actually will have to make a test. But that's NPCs. Starting with Steven Strachan. He gets on a mission, hunt for the mission objective. If damaged, the NPC will not engage the attacking character and will continue hunting for the mission objective. So he's going to try and go after the mission. So he moves 4. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 to here. Next highest is going to be Rika Eris. She flips a... NPC will hunt the character with the highest initiative. After moving, the NPC will attack the close enemy on its way to the highest initiative character. Roll off if more than 1. So after moving, she moves 5. Highest initiative character for me is over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Has to make a stealth test. 2 dice to detect. She sees me. So I'm unstealth, then she's going to attack me. 4 dice. A 4. I forgot to move 2 of my characters. Not that it really mattered. A +1 is a 5. Does she dodge it? She does. It's needed to move, which I totally forgot about. So we're completely unarmed. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and then pick her up. And pick up her gear, so we have her pistol now. And then Fish Boy, he's just going to go. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess. Moving on, over here. Dwarf is a 3 and Android is a 4. So the Android goes Brawler, hunt the character with the highest initiative. If damaged, the NPC will engage the attacking character and will remain engaged until they're defeated. So she's going to go and try and run after... Who's my highest initiative character now? Still Stabitha, Belazur. So having to move full distance, she moves 4. So going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then can't move on the way, so just stops. Dwarf, he's going to flip a flyboy target, go after pilots or weapon officers. I have a pilot on the board, so he's going to move his 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Totally flipped which ship landed where by accident, I realized. And that looks like all the NPCs, so we're on to some sweet, sweet robot action, starting with Asp. He's going to go after the highest initiative thing he can get to in one move, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and it's going to make the stabs. Actually, I think he goes after me. No, it's the highest initiative character. You can see alternating, that's right. It's going to be the boss. He's the highest initiative total. And he +1 all these dice. So 2 unblockable hits, a 5. The 5 is blocked, but that's still enough to knock him out. Android the first goes after me, goes 1, makes a 4 dice attack. Looking for +1 on 1 die, so 7 unblockable and a 5. Is the 5 blocked? It is. So 1 damage to Trix. Nope. The other one, Belazur. This one over here will go after the other warband. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Another 4 dice attack. The +1, so 5 and a 4. 5 and a 4. 6 and a 4. Blocks my warband now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Makes an attack. It's going to be a 7, so an unblockable damage, and a 4. Is the 4 blocked? Nope. Damage on the Shape of Water there. And then it's going to be... this next one goes after the other warband, so 1, 2, attacks the goat lady, gets a 7, so 7 and a 5. Is the 5 blocked with +1? It is, because she gets +1 to 1, but she still takes damage, and she goes to 3. This last one here is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and also attack him, because we're alternating warbands, and gets a 6 and a 4. Blocks the +1 to 6. Roll high enough to use the other +1, so he goes to 3 damage. And then it's Panthros. This one just attacks her, because it can. 5 dice with +1 to 1. And it's the highest value die. So a 7 unblockable, and then 2 4s. Are the 2 4s dodged? Android gets a 6 and a 4 and dodges them both. She just takes 1. This one's going to come after the highest initiative thing in the other warband and get 2 in 1 move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to shoot me. 5 dice, +1 to the highest. That's another 7, and then a 4 and a 5. Don't block either, take 3. Only take 3 more, she's dead, and then this one's just going to attack her again. Surrounding the android for 5. That's a 7, so unblockable, and then does she dodge the 4 with +1? She does. That is all the NPCs. So we are on to the end phase. Not the NPCs, the villains, so we're on to the end phase. Normal day, no event. Orbital phase, real quick, everybody's docked. There's no pilots to actually, like, do anything. So back onto the planetary phase, starting with my warband. Actually, no, my warband is lower initiative now because I've only got 3, 6, 13 to... Oh no, I'm still good, 12. It's time to get the hell out of here. So -1 movement. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 overall and drag the corpse away. I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3 and scan the box. Actually, I might as well not bother scanning the box. I might as well just punch the wounded one. Because if I can kill the wounded one, then it'll be better. So I'm gonna try and stealth. Yeah, I might as well stealth again. It auto-detects me, but I can still get the bonus to the die. I do stealth. Actually, I have 5 dice, never mind. I do stealth, but I get bonus to my assassin dice now. Add 1 to 2 rolled attack dice. And it's a melee attack because I'm up close. So it's 5 dice. And I can make, add 1 to 2 rolled dice. Okay, so add 1 to 2 rolled dice. So I go 6, 6, or I can go 6, 5, 4, 4. That's what I'm gonna do, 6, 5, 4, 4. Can the android survive? Gets +1 to its highest rolled defense dice. So I think this is, you can't make a 7 on defense, so that's gonna be 2 6s. So it takes 2 damage. If the healing herbs hadn't taken effect, then we would have been okay. Everything will be all right once we get to Tyr's Lean. So that's that. We're into Fishman. He's just gonna run and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I get this double scan off. It's not going well. And then it's the other crew. So starting with the highest initiative, which would be Goat Girl. She flips a NPC card. Flyboy target goes after pilot or weapons decks. For me, a pilot's going to be her up there. So she just has to bug out, I guess. 5, so she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mine. Bellazzur's a weapons deck. She's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just attack me. Of course she is. +1 on one of these dice. She gets a 7, which is unblockable. And then a 5, 4. The 5, 4. We block the 5. She goes to 5 of 7 total. Lost my stealth when I made the attack, so she didn't have to make the test there afterwards to try and see me. The next highest will be the android. She flips a... on a mission, goes after the mission target, but she doesn't really have anywhere she can go. The NPC will engage the attacking character and will remain engaged until defeated. So she's gonna keep trying to stab that guy. She gets just her bare hands, so 4 melee dice. And jackhammer mode, +1 to 1 rolled attack die for melee roll. And then burst of speed. She can do a tech test to get +3 speed. She hits with 1 on a 4+. No. Blind man takes a punch. And then last but not least, it's Dwarf. Orc Dwarf. Orc Dwarf flips a Prey on the Weak. Hunt the character with the lowest initiative. For me, that's going to be Abok the Fishman. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Asp 4 is going to attack the highest initiative dude, which is going to be Bellazzur, because she's 6. So 5 dice with +1 to 5 of them, because there's still 5 androids in the table. We get Potato. So 2 7s, which are unblockable, a 6 and a 4. Great. So the 2 we can block. We block the 4. 3 more and she's dead. Good job, Bellazzur. There's a corpse pile growing here of many corpses. Alright. And then this one's going to attack her. Goat Girl, 4 dice with +1 to 1. Gets a 7 and 3 4s. So an unblockable. And then she blocks 1 and 1 more because she gets +1 to 1. So she takes 2 damage. And she's currently at 3, goes to 5. Next one we'll go after Fishman because he's the closest of the other warbands. So 1 and then make an attack roll. 4 at +1 to the highest. So that's a 7, so unblockable. And then a 5, which he blocks. So Fishman takes a damage, goes to 4. And this robot goes 1, 2, and goes after Goat Girl again. 4 with +1 to the highest. If she takes 2, she's dead. So it's going to be a 6 and a 4. 2 block dice. +1 to 1, so she can block a 6, and then take 1. This next one goes after my warband and goes 1, 2, 3, and then makes a stab. If he takes 1 more, no, 2 more, he is dead. So 4 dice with +1 to the highest. Takes an unblockable, and then a 5 and a 4. Blocks 1 of them, and he is unconscious. I'm down to 1 character left. I'm going to go after Dwarf and go 1, 2, 3. 4 dice, +1 to the highest, so it's a 6 total. Can he block it with a +1? No, and it's just alternating these guys. So this first one attacking her, 5 dice with +1 to 1, because there's more than one of them on the table. Okay, so an unblockable 7, and then 4 5s. She gets +1 to 2 of them. She gets +1 to 1 of them. She blocks 1, takes 4 damage. She's now at 6 and she's unconscious. And this one over here will go and go 1, 2 and attack. 5 dice with +1 to 1. So it's a 6. That's it. Can he block it? Nope. And the last one, we'll go after the highest initiative thing he can get to in one move, which is probably going to be the dwarf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's within 5. He can go 5 actually there, so you can see it. 5 with +1 to 1. So a 7 and then a 5, 4, 4. So can he block any of these? He blocks the 6 and one of the 4s for 2 damage. Okay. Yeah, well, second last event card, or third last event card, Dreg Fighter attack. So a bunch of Dreg Fighters show up and will start bombarding us. So place 3 Dreg Fighter tokens at a random space tile location. They'll attack this ship with the highest initiative in descending order. And they choose ships they can attack with a single move. Orbital location they show up in is going to be Clear Space 2, which is this one over here. Orbital phase. Yeah, so we're docked now because we had to get our crew on the planet to try and finish the mission. So all these Dreg Fighters are going to alternate attacking us on the ground as long as they're within 2 of the planet. So the Zarathi Fighters can all move 4. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and take a shot because it's within 2 of the planet. And it has 3 attack dice with a range of 5. So 3 attack dice into my ship. Gets nothing. The next one's going to attack the enemy ship. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Gets a 6. It gets no bonuses. So does the ship defend? It does. And the last one's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then just stop. Empty ships are just basically on auto defense right now. And yeah, onto the planetary side. So my initiative is currently, I have 1 person who is running away. She's initiative 4. I have no way of doing the mission objectives now. So I guess I fly away. I go 1, 2, 3 and get on. And then at the end we ascend. Because why not? And she's just like carrying the dead body of, what's her face? She's going to go into medbay. We managed to get, what's her face? Trix. Trix is in medbay. And the NPCs, so the highest initiative NPC is going to be her again, Rika Eris. On a mission, hunts for the mission objective. All right, well, she's going to move. She can't, I guess, really go anywhere. There's an alternate. If damaged, she'll keep attacking the engaging character. So she's going to attack this robot. Dice +1 to 1. She gets a 5 and a 4. And then it doesn't defend. Takes 2. Oh, sorry, this came along with him. Dwarf, who's surrounded by bad guys, is going to brawl her. NPC will hunt the character with the highest initiative. So goes after, I have no one on the planet. So I guess the Zarathi warrior? Dwarf gets 4 fight dice. Gets no bonuses to any of them. This is pretty bad though. So a 6. A 5 and 2 4s. It blocks the 2 4s and takes 2. And it's robot o'clock. Alright. This guy just goes and he'll go 1, 2, 3 to get adjacent. Because I don't know if you can stand the corpse pile. I assume you can. But it doesn't matter either way. And then fights. 5 robots on the board. So +1 every die. So 4, 6, 5. 4, 6, 5. The double 5s block the 4 and the 6. Sorry, the 4 and the 5. Go Girl only had 1 health left, and so she's unconscious as well. Let the bodies hit the floor, just started to play. So everybody else goes after the dwarf. Yeah. So 1, 2. Let's make some room here, boys. 4, 4, +1 to 1. Yeah. 7, so an auto damage, and then 2 4s. Does it block the 2 4s? Blocks 1, takes 2. Puts him at 6, and he's unconscious too. So the coalition is total party killed, and I have 1 person maybe flying away. Everyone else mills around in celebration. The event phase, creature attack. Pick a random card from the creature deck and place it in the corner. I like that after everyone dies, a monster just erupts out of the place. And it's a fire angel. Oh, please show up in the burning building. All right, so Gaby's a good shovel. Shows up in the stellar cartography. So literally, in the room we were trying to access, a giant fire angel shows up as we all die. What's funny is this is a creature, which means it goes after all the villains and will attack them, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, I'm off planet now. So Initiative. This thing's docked and no one to pilot it. I'm just going to try and get the hell out of Dodge. Luckily, my pilot's the one that got away. So she flips back to, oh man, I'm all beat up, but I got somebody in medical. So I movement 4 plus 1 is 5. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5, I guess. I can't just, oh no, I can just go off 4 or 5 because I can leave. Because it's not a plan, I'm not deciding to do it, I'm just jetting out. So basically, Krell and Rain and Trix are like the only survivors of LV426. Alright, it's the end of the game. My Renegades just escaping with their lives and completely failing their mission. And there's my first just sort of on-camera playthrough of Destiny Aurora, 1 to 4 player board game from B&B Game Studio. Now, let's do my post game, because obviously, having played it I played it 3 times-ish now, including my games with Owen, I have some thoughts on it. So the stuff I like, first things I really like the procedural mission generation, and I like the 2-map format. I like the fact that space and the ground are equally impactful in the game, and there's stuff to do on both that are neat and interesting. This mission in particular, I had to do things on both sides with an away team on the ground. I really liked the fact that you get a ton of different monster options and a ton of random world events that can change the face of what's happening. It kind of shakes it up. You don't really know what's going to go on from one round to the next. You can't be surefire planning things either. The basic core mechanics were good. I like the push, pull, attack, and defense dice. Nothing felt overly powerful as far as just when we were being hit by the bad guys, because as soon as they've done damage to you, you get to try and defend with an equal amount. So you're never overwhelmed by dice. Basically, you don't have a defense stat that can be overwhelmed. The characters all felt unique and they had their own jobs to do, which was also really good. And generally speaking, while it is, a fairly derivative kind of tropes-based universe that they're building here with the Destiny Aurora stuff, it works. It's fun. There's cat girls and robots and lizard lady and, orc dwarf and, Mercy and stuff. I already nicknamed everybody because I could look at the miniature and have an idea of what it was going to do on the battlefield. I think that's pretty cool. And then the random sort of I guess actions, the NPC decks you can play with one player. It felt cool too because people were doing things that had a meaning, and occasionally going after the objectives, occasionally fighting people. I didn't feel like I was just fighting a rote AI that I could predict what it was going to do each round, and I like that in one player games, because with certain games when there's sort of a core rote mechanic for what everything's going to be doing round to round, you can predict it and you can lead the computer away, which isn't as much fun as if it's going to do something that's unexpected every time you activate an enemy character. So that was really good. So things that places where I think this game needs work. So the first most important one, we have not yet played this game without it resulting in total party kills every time. And the thing I'm going to say that is the core problem with that is the enemies in this game have way too much health. If I was to play this game again, I would have rounding down the max amount of health everybody has, including the big monsters and characters and stuff, because so many spawn and there's always so many in each mission that every individual peon shouldn't have the same amount of health as your heroes. My nav officer has the same amount of health as one of those Zarathi warriors. They all have 5 hit points, you know what I mean? And some of them have even more. The Fire Angel has 8. The Ronins all have 5. Asp4 has 10. He has more hit points than anybody else on the table. Because you have a push, pull, attack, and defense mechanic, you're only usually doing chip damage each round. And bonuses are so prevalent that you cannot kill these bad guys fast enough. It makes them feel durable and kind of real life, but it means your characters don't feel heroic. And if your characters don't feel heroic, what's the point of the game? You just feel like you're outnumbered and outgunned for most of the battle while you're trying to do the mission. And because doing the mission, there's an action economy, I would never play this game without a timer. We'd been TPK'd every single time, even before the world event cards have run out. Going to an unlimited amount of world events, I think you're just asking to get total party killed. You can't really go fast enough. There's a need, I think, to look at this game and look at how much damage your peons have while you're playing it and how that makes the players feel. When you're playing with 4 players, there would be even more bad guys. We're using half as much, when the results come up for how many bad guys you spawn, you typically get half as many for 1 to 2 players. So this isn't even the max amount of bad guys that could be on the table. This is half of the max if you were playing with 4 crews. And you can play with 4 crews out of the box, because you could do 2 coalition crews and 2 renegade crews and have all 4 people playing, and there'd be a ton more bad guys to fight as well. So that does jam the table up a little bit, and because you don't feel like you're getting anywhere killing the bad guys, the game can feel grindy. It's a bit of I think a threat to the enjoyment of the game when there's even just one person playing and there's not that many bad guys spawning. And the second half is just unfortunate is the component stuff. The components are nice, don't get me wrong, and I think for an indie game, like a sort of like a crowdfund published game, the ability to get something like this made is an incredible accomplishment. I don't want to take away from that, but just little things like the tiles not quite lining up, and the card stock being a bit too thick for these standees. I've broken about a half dozen of these clear plastic standees right now, putting the ships and stuff into them, and it's causing a lot of wear on them already. There's a lot of tearing and stuff like that. Was the only other thing, but that's a minor thing compared to I think just some core mechanic changes that can make the game really enjoyable. So overall, I do really like this game. I think it's got a lot of replayability, but it needs either some house ruling or maybe an FAQ or just a new digital rulebook. Oh geez, did you hear that? That was literally one of those standees popping. It broke in half from the Android that was in it for this whole game. It needs some core mechanic changes, I think, just to make the game, the characters feel a little bit more heroic, like they're getting somewhere, and to speed up the gameplay. And I would recommend that the world events being limited number is just a standard game mechanic, because I think there's enough happening that puts pressure on the players to do stuff. So for an indie title, super cool, a lot of fun to play, has a lot of promise, I think, as far as just like replayability and doing a campaign and stuff. But I do have those are my main comments and criticisms are just about how much the feeling of the players is uphill because of the amount of health the bad guys have, and then just the minor quibbles about component quality. So hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you for more Let's Plays in the future. I was going to do a GMG review on this, but as you can probably see from me having played it, this completely filled a 6x4 table, so doing a GMG review on camera, I'm going to have this stand in for it as well. So we'll see you next time for more of these. Until then, I'm Ash. Apple Gaming. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below to get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.